I need you just as much as you need me. In this evening's live, we have several different topics to talk about. The first and most important one is the very, very key rising channel resistance that we fell outside of, and we are literally right on the border of it right now. So after the fall down into the 59 cent and some change, we managed to come back up here, and for a moment we peaked our heads over 64 cents, but now we pushed ourselves back below that area, and we happen to be right on the cusp here of that rising channel resistance that if you get rejected here, the technical target would be down to about 55.3 cents. Now, if we can get back up over this, every action has an opposite reaction. And what I mean by that is if you wouldn't break down, you would still have to make that equal move, which would, if we just look at this from a standpoint of like this, it would bring you somewhat, it could bring you a little bit over this rising channel. So am I optimistic that this is going to break up? I don't know. I can tell you this though, this is the first layer to stop us from rejecting down. And then ultimately we have to come up to 70 cents and overtake that in order for this pattern to be invalidated on the move down. Otherwise, if you're familiar with the Wyckoff, and I don't often speak of it unless it's a relevant motion, and right now it is, if this gets rejected here, it's a very fair shot that we've broken out of phase 3 of the Wyckoff. And now we're going into phase 4, however you want to phrase it. But this is from 3 to 4 now in the Wyckoff event. And 4 would be the move down to gather support for the big breakout. Or let's put it this way. We're going from wave 3 to wave 4 if we get rejected here. Wave 4 would be the big move back down. I believe that would be somewhere between 48 and 52 cents if it had to come down like that on wave 4. And then in wave 5, you would get the overextension and the expansion. And that's how you would come up to the final push in this cycle. Just like Bitcoin, if this is a wave 4 correction, and let's just say we don't know how far it comes down, 55, 40, we don't know. But if it goes wave 4 and it does it properly, wave 5 would bring it up to 130, 150,000 if it played properly. That's the importance of what's going on right now. It's not just, hey, it's bearish or it's bullish. There's different things that have been going on here. And right now we're stuck in wave 3. Now, you can either expand out of here and then correct after, but more than likely the scenario, if you get rejected here, we're going to go into wave 4, and that would bring us down. Like I said, first target would be 55.3 cents, but I would be shocked if we came down there if we didn't tap 48 or 52 cents, personally. So now that's why we need to see if we're going to get rejected, and we're going to have a very open and active discussion. I have no idea how many people will show up tonight because it is bearish. And as most of you noticed, when there's bullish anticipation, 200-300 people in here. I was shocked overnight as I did a live at 12 a.m. in the midst of this breakdown. And I was surprised to see 168, 170 people in the live last night, even though it was between 12 and 1 a.m. on my Eastern Standard Time. So it was pretty cool to see. When we look around the market, we've absolutely corrected. Bitcoin faces that same exact resistance level as XRP does. And we'll get into this. But it's this dotted line. I talked about it over the overnight hours. We talked about it yesterday. It's this rising channel. It was support. And now it's resistance. If Bitcoin gets rejected at about 69,000, and as we come up here, we can say on the next daily close, 69,700. But let's just call it for what it is. If Bitcoin can't break 70,000, this signals, as we came up once, but the signal for us to break down, and that's if we broke up by some miracle. But the breakdown, it actually lines up very nicely. The breakdown would bring you to about 59K. I mean, that would bring you right to about 59K, 59.4. The relevance of that is that would be a double bottom. This could be the support bottom we've been... Just think about this, everybody. And don't shoot the messenger, please, tonight. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to lie to everybody. We're going to be honest here. But look, if this is a condensed, in a smaller sense, rising channel, and just a condensed area as it looks like it started to create, all it means is you would come down to the bottom of where it started. Now, that could be and consolidate all the way down there with an overexpanded wick. I think this is starting to line up for boom. hold this, and this could be your new double bottom. Even if it expands a little bit farther, and then it creates, in the future, what we would end up looking at is a big expansion if it were to rotate out after that, because then you would have a magnificent test of support. Now, I only show this because that's the exact breakdown, is at 59,465. And that could very well be where we had one hit of support there to try to retest a new support floor if we do this. And then you could expand out. That very well might be what's happening. So I just wanted to show you a quick sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about tonight, because I believe in the next hour and 8 minutes, it's going to be very vital that we make a determination here whether or not this is going to maintain its bullish thesis, or if this bearish continuation now is going to happen, and then we have to come back down for wave 4, and then we explode in wave 5, which generally is what you would want to happen. But we're going to talk all about this. We're also going to talk about the fact that XRP volume skyrocketed 85% ahead of a critical price threshold. But ultimately, our XRP whales transactions behind 15% XRP price dump. So we'll go into all that as well, as I think this will be a very lively live. We've got Bitcoin right now on the cusp of that 69,000 area, but also on the verge of a meltdown of about 10,000 points if we get rejected here. And XRP, you know, is on the cusp of a drop to 55 at worst. I mean, at best, maybe worse, it could drop down to 48 to 52 if we lose this resistance area. This will become the moment of, are we being shaken out? Or is the XRP holder or the community understanding what's happening here? And in a 5-wave cycle, I mean, you could sell at the end of 3 and then pick back up at the bottom of 4. But to try to measure it out, it's going to be pretty difficult with the volatility here. And then if it busts up, you know, it's going to be a difficult transition to see, because if we did break up and retook 70 cents, like I said, at this point, it feels like by some miracle. But if we did go up to 70 cents and hold that and then continue to push, that would invalidate this current bearish thesis that we have right now, falling out of that rising channel. It's not good enough just to get in it. Now you'd have to break over 70 cents and then ultimately break 75 cents to invalidate a negative downturn, because you've got to get rid of that 77-month consolidation. Otherwise, if that holds as resistance, our consolidation can go all the way out until December or early January of 2018, or 2025. 2018, where have I been? That's where the trend started. So with that being said, let me timestamp this. Please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. I would greatly appreciate that. If you do hit that like button and YouTube recommends live, it'll allow not just new viewers to find their way in here, but older viewers as well, as YouTube, when you hit the like button, recommends the video, allows it to go through the algorithm. And what that means is it shows up on your feed when you open up YouTube. So the more likely, if you see me, you're more likely to probably, you know, join us, as to oppose if you're searching and you don't see it popping up. So, and a special shout out to Tom's Army as you guys continue to help me do what I need to do here. Good evening, 6:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, March 15th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. If you understand what's happening with XRP, and you're not fearful right now, and in the crypto market as a whole, we have 67 likes, 112 people watching. Hit that like button if you understand what's happening in the market right now. I'm going to go over the comments real quick, and then we're going to be caught up, and then we're going to get into this. John Page, welcome in. CZAM, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month. With the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yeah, sure is the day, and sure is the cement I'm standing on. That's my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for month 1, or what is that, 6 months with the XRP predictor. Moza here, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP meteor. Good late evening to you as well, my friend. Moza here, welcome in. Whoops. Let's see. We've got Marvelous, welcome in. Vincent, Cade Bays, welcome in. Hi, Tom, keep grinding. What is your take on XLM, if you don't mind? Thinking about broadening my portfolio. Oh, we'll get into XLM as well, as I hold 10,000, a little over 10,000 tokens from about 8.5 cents. I love XLM. John Hall, welcome in. Appreciate you tuning in. Will Rob, welcome and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Marvelous says 4 in the morning. It will go parabolic. We shall see. 20 bucks. Let's go. UK Phil, welcome in. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3 months now with the XRP Meteor. Mark Casson, welcome in. Thank you for saying hit that like button. Yes, indeed, that will help me push the content and push through the YouTube recommendations for this live. Outdoorsy Kennedy, or Kenny, welcome in. Regardless of the price, I'm buying every week. I'm looking at my goal, and it's 10,000 XRP for my bag, and then 20,000. Excellent, excellent. That was my goal as well, was 10,000 when I bought. But I've now got 13 different assets that we bought along the way. Devin, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Cade Bays, RC's, CZAM, YouTube won't let me support you. Oh, I'm sorry about that, CZAM. I don't know why that is. But you are supporting me because you're in month 1 in Tom's Army with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. So you sure as heck are supporting me, friend. Outdoors Kenny, welcome in. Load your bags, everybody. He said, make XRP great again. Sorry I'm late, guys. Been chilling up here on the moon with my XRP gains and reception. Well, unfortunately, you have no reception because with your gains, you probably can't afford that phone bill. Angela Dean, welcome in. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 years with the XRP 589 moon badge. Speaking of the moon, make it XRP great again. Rockin' XRP Painter, welcome in. Oh, I watched that live through the night. Oh, yes, or oh, you said. Yes, indeed. Wasn't it a nice one? We actually tapped that perfectly, and hopefully the one who was watching us that was up like, what was he up like, 4,000 or 5,000, or he bought in a healthy position, a 25 or 35x leverage, he said, and last night he was up from 61 to 64 or 63 and a half. Remember what I told him? If we get rejected at that 63 cent line, for me, friend, you better sell that and don't give it all back. And he would have gave it all back if we didn't sell. So I'll be curious to see if he's in here. Because it went down to 59 cents, which would have liquidated him. And I was being real last night at 12 a.m., as everybody knows, or early this morning. I told him, get out of there. Out. Too volatile. You've already done your job. G-Ball Combi, welcome in. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Mark Caston, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I greatly appreciate that. And if I missed the donation, if there was a donation, anybody, please let me know if I missed something, because it's only showing one. So I just want to make sure if there was one, let me know. Disappointed I missed Solana at $7 after serious consideration. Always one that got, oh, there sure is. There sure is. Rockin' XR Painter, I wrote it down. Chat, pins and let's fucking go. Future Millionaire from Philippines. Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. Now that we're back on track here, I got the P's and Q's and said hello to everybody. Now we got to get down to the business. We've got 1 hour. We've got 1 hour here, folks, until this market closes here for the day. We've also got 1 hour. Although the futures market is already about closed now, there are after hours trading a lot until about 8 p.m. in the stock market. So you can't really see how it settles until after 8 p.m. So we're coming down to the final hour of this week of trading. Fortunately for us, crypto never sleeps, and we get to be together 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and 366 this year because I believe on a leap year we get an extra day together. So XRP, this is the true line in the sand right now. And we've got a chance here if it wants to hold us and then push back up. But we've got to try to avoid this drop if you don't want it to correct any farther. So the important thing to understand during this live is that if this gets rejected, it's already tailor making our move. We already know the move. We'll just have to move it over here then when it comes through. But this move's going to be about an 11 to 12% drop if it breaks down. So if you move it over here, we'll just say it drops there. That's about 55 cents. So if it drops out, we're looking at about 11 to 12, maybe 13% drop. If it pushes out, your super chat is broke. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I watched another guy called Coins Kid who actually called this. Oh, I see the angle you're taking. I wouldn't be pushing that narrative. But anyhow, good for you. the correction phase here, though, as we see. We've got this in here. We came up perfectly to what we estimated. We talked about for a long time from 48.8 cents, the entirety of this move. We just happen to be getting rejected here at 66.6 cent area once again. But this move, it goes back to the cup that we formed. And we can continue to talk about the cup. We put the handle. Now, if it comes through here, you'll end up correcting more. But if it holds, you've got a big move to come still. And even if it breaks down, which could happen, this move isn't done yet. This isn't done yet. Not by a long shot in the grand scheme of things. So, as we know, we came up to the 66 cent resistance. Even came down to 75 cents now. And we retested. He came down to that downtrending resistance. And this is the all-time pattern that we hit at 75 cents. That ended up being a big, you know, brick wall here for us. And we haven't been able to push past this. Wow, I just knocked that over. I'm sorry. We haven't been able to push past this downtrending resistance since we formed it in 2018. We hit it again a little bit farther back in the pattern in 21. And now we've hit it again for the first time in a while. So that's only been the third time we've actually tapped that downtrending resistance. First time since 21. So that's going to be the, no, don't feel insignificant with 6,000 XRP. That is not a good, no, you're not insignificant. 6,000 is a nice holding. Get your money off Uphold. They froze my account after 9 months after I moved 40K off last week. They held it hostage for 9 days, then sent me an email. I didn't see what the bottom part said. I would love to see what the rest of this says, though. They sent you, I love to hear all the feedback. And if you're looking to find an exchange, oh, hold on. 9 days, and they sent me an email saying I had limited time to move my funds off. Well, I wonder what that's all about. I wonder what that's all about, JM. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. That is very interesting to hear. That is very interesting to hear. And please hit that like button if you are watching, everybody, so that YouTube will recommend this video. We've got more than 40, almost 40 people watching that have not hit that. Respect, if you respect what I do, please make sure to hit that like button. Terminated it. I spent 30 plus in Ethereum moving stuff and lost move and stuff I couldn't move. Uphold gave me shit about KYC. Yeah, you have to do a KYC on Uphold. I've been very clear. If you're on Uphold and you don't do a KYC, you're lucky they even let you take it off. If you don't do a KYC, I'm surprised you even got to take it off, to be honest with you. Even if you're just trying to withdraw off the exchange. Because they're in the tax code, they are very strict about that KYC in the USA especially. Because they govern to the US tax code. So they turn in our taxes. Even if we don't want to do them, they turn them in. So, but this pattern formation, we need to break out of 75 cents. As of now, unless we continue to push. Otherwise, if this gets rejected and it does continue down, the bottom line floor right now is about 38.4 cents if you break down. But there's so much stuff in between here that we have to deal with before we just look at the 2020, well, the entirety of the formations from the all-time pattern where we went in January of 2018, and we started there. And then we had to come down to the support in March of 2020. And so on and so forth. And now we are where we're at. You know, but all of this has taken time. It's taken a long time for this to build. It hasn't just happened overnight. But we're firmly stuck in this rising channel right now. And technically, if you get rejected here, again, you would come all the way back down. And it does suggest 42 here, but that's not the bottom line right now. The rising channel resistance, you're not just going to come right back down there. I firmly believe that right now, if we look at, we'll get into XLM in a second. I'm just trying to show everybody the difference on the chart. I firmly believe we're tied in this chart right now. If I'm guessing, this chart right here, I know we've got the longevity of the longer pattern, but I think this pattern has nailed it. And we know that because this one goes back to 2021 and about November, maybe a little bit farther back, September of 21, if you start up here, Uptrend started here in January of 23. But if you look at this, this called to drop down. Even on those 2 quick wicks down, it hit 52.3. Then it hit 52.3 approximately again before the push up. So now if it has a breakdown, look how close this comes to the uptrend. Like, what if it carries on and then it breaks down? The technical target right now is 55.05, as we know. But how hard would that be to do a quick overextension on the wick to 53 cents? I mean, and then we look at this formation setup, and this suggests even on a break out of here, it would have been up to this resistance. Doesn't have to hit it right now. This is just showing whether it broke up or down. And right now we were on the downside of it. This is why we're at a very pivotal moment at the 200-day here and the 2-hourly. We're right on this support area as trying to see if it's going to be a resistance or if we can maintain more than just a wick. Because right now, believe it or not, even with the huge drop we had, that's going to, if it closed right now, this wick would technically, believe it or not, be over this area. And you would have had a successful hold on that support. And it wouldn't even look like we had a breakdown if it held it. Now, we have a 4-hourly reversal candle here, which is stating it for a reason. The candle before that doesn't look entirely bullish to me. That looks more like a gravestone in disguise. I'm not calling that an inverted hammer. There's not enough of a candle body there at all to say that. I don't know, man. That looks more like that was a fake out. And now we're looking like a reversal here. Everyone thinking and saying this is the last drop. Retail is normally wrong. They are saying some very questionable financing from BITUNIX tied to Tether, tied to Bitcoin, tied to Evergrande, China. Woo. Yeah, BITUNIX is one that I've been very finicky on for a long time. I've never actually used it because I don't like their books. But who's to say what's going to happen with that going forward with Tether? Like what I've been using lately, and until they steer me wrong, and I do have stuff on Uphold, as you know, but in the video description below and our pinned comments, whether in the USA, Canada, or abroad, it's BITUNIX. They've been up during the high times of volatility, and it saves me a fortune in fees. If I'm buying and selling, if I'm doing a swing trade or whatever the case may be, it saves me a fortune from upholding fees when I sell or buy. You don't need a VPN, and you only need a KYC if you're transferring off of the exchange into a bank account. I don't do a KYC, and I've gone on and on the exchange with finance. It's just not through a bank account. So just consider that, especially during these high times of volatility. And if you get an opportunity here, and this does play out like a bear flag, and it comes down here to 55 cents, make sure you have liquidity available if you're looking to buy in. Because I'm telling you, if we have this big drop here, we're going to be oversold. Big time. In the smaller time frames, especially leading up into the daily. Or the 4-hourly. Daily's getting closer now to have this big volatile push up in the RSI, which is actually bearish. So it looks like it's all lining up for a big drop. Unless somehow, some way we use that rising channel resistance. I mean, the resistance side of this, and we turn it back into support. And then ultimately come back up over this rising channel resistance at 67 cents. Which wouldn't even be enough, but that would be the first layer up. Ultimately, we've got to get back on top of 70 and then 75 cents and break out of this 77-month consolidation. If we don't, and we move down here, that just could signal that this consolidation can go all the way out until early 2025 in January. But yes, too, but I agree. And a lot of people are saying we already had the last drop. In my title, I'm saying the final shakeout, is this the final shakeout that's coming right now? Because I don't believe this was the shakeout. I believe that was a shakeout before the shakeout. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but I believe we've not been shaken out yet. I believe we're doing the corrective wave now. If we get rejected here, we can do wave 3 to wave 4 correction, and then wave 4 to wave 5 in the Wyckoff schematics, or the Wyckoff accumulation, would get you that explosive move we're looking for. So I'm not afraid of what's happening right now. This is tailor-made if we get rejected here. It's okay. It's okay. And honestly, you would just come back down to the bottom of the handle. That's it. That's the beauty of this. All you do is come back down to the bottom of the handle anyhow. We just weren't ready to break out in this scenario. So we don't necessarily want to go all the way back down to the rising channel resistance. This is what we would like to see happening right now. Or support, I should say. This is what we would like to see starting to happen. So let me get rid of this. So instead of having that upper, like that being our low support and that our upper resistance, what could be forming here And we could seriously look at this as we've had an evolution in this pattern. And we already know this side of it, but we've certainly had an evolution within the pattern. So it's interesting when you start to actually look at what's transpiring here. It really is. Because, yeah, that channel's important. But if you start looking at this now, we're starting to create something else here. And, I mean, this could be your last attempt to hold this. But we're certainly creating something else here. And it's actually, I don't want to do it on this chart because I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm going to go to my other chart. And we're going to draw this in real quick. Actually, I think I put it, this is the one I put here. Yeah, okay. So we know this is here. But we do have a shorter, like, there's something shorter that's developing here. I know we have this, but within that rising channel, something weird is forming. Like, we know that part of the pattern. See, I don't want to overanalyze this because, honestly, it doesn't even matter. This whole thing right now, if we get rejected here at 63 cents, that's going to drive a wedge into this entire formation. It's very exciting, though, to watch this as it plays out in real time. Just for me personally, I think this is the most exciting stuff. Because it takes a lot of dedication to do this. They're calling for an E-leg. You believe this shit? Actually, I will draw this in real quick because this is technically, I suppose one could say that maybe this is the actual handle formed. Maybe we were just being a little, like I drew it out like that, but I'm starting to reanalyze this and be like, hey, you know, it's okay. It's overexpanded now. We can use the evidence we had before we didn't have the evidence. But I want to know what the hell is going on here so that I can, you know, hit this at the best opportunity. See, I really like that. Let me get rid of this. Honestly, let me get rid of this. What if this is actually the flag, folks? What if this is actually the flag? I think this makes a hell of a lot of sense for this to be the bullish flag. I mean, the handle. I think that's the handle. Hi, Tom. My chat was fucked, but I've been here from the beginning working out. Oh, I'm so glad to, I'm so glad for you, Tanya, that you were able to figure it out because I'm glad to see you in here. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I really appreciate that. You have both from the wick and the lower wick right after. Yep. Yep, I understand that, Ronnie. I just like to keep the wick in the expansion zone. And right now, the rest, honestly, I don't even need to do anything else because this rising channel resistance, if it gets rejected there, these are basically your layers here. And you really don't want to break 51. This is the handle. I like how this is made up now. We can even go to the low support of the handle now that we drew this out with the new evidence. What about those toys? That's what they all say. But that's what they all, because somebody said that because I know how to read the market. You should stick around, brother. Because right now I don't want to be a dick, but you sound like a moron. Because you haven't been here long enough, but you're making me sound like a tool. But everybody who actually watches understands that I called the market top in 21 and the bottom in 23. So you can joke around, you can, you know, make fun of us, or you can do whatever you want to do. But the bottom line is I've got stuff up 600%. I've got stuff up 100%. I've got nothing that's below. Everything we bought in the midst of the bear market. So, like, you can make jokes all you want. No, this is not an AB. This would be a wave 3 to wave 4 correction. So that's just but I don't play that game. I'm not getting into a confrontation, but I'm just saying some people can sniff it out very you know, you got to be careful how you. Okay, so basically all you've got is your integrity. So when you go into somebody's community, sure, 99 out of 100 you might be right about, but you've walked into the one community that defied the odds over the last 3 years, and we've made unbelievable wealth. And not just that, no, not, I don't, no, not, I don't think I was talking, not you, Albert, somebody else. Albert, not you. You were defending me, I was saying. Somebody else, what about, you know who I'm talking to. So, but it's what about those toys? It wasn't you, but anyhow, I'm not feeding into that. You know, that's not what I do. So positivity over negativity if you want me to interact with you, but not just that. We're a very helpful community here. So, you know, that's not going to fly in here, but you're also going to lose respect from the audience members who have done a heck of a job here, not just through crypto, but precious metals and commodities. So be better, do better. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, you got that mindset of a child, so it's okay. You know, not everybody this is the game for, and some people just come in to ruin the flow. But that is the last time I'll acknowledge you, friend, until you grow up. XRP Broska, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. Diamond Hands, thanks, Tom. Appreciate your time. I appreciate that so much, XRP Broska. Thank you so much for paying it forward like that. I really appreciate that. Dump for sure, thank you so much for subscribing. See, gained a sub out of that. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you're in here too. So no, we don't need to fight. Let's just kill them with kindness, folks. No reason to what you got to do. You do it with the power of love. When you fall into the trap, then you start to take away the power of love, and then you start to fill yourself with envy or hate. We don't want that either. So with XRP, we've got this resistance level. This is the most important thing. This is the most important thing. Is in the 30-minute time frame. We can see it a little bit clearer, but in the 30-minute time frame, we really need to come back up over this. In the longevity of things, first tier and second tier, obviously we know this, but we've got one thing that is really standing in the way right now, and it is something that we must acknowledge. You know, that if we did get rejected in this area, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just, it would signify a move, you know, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. Either way, how this plays out, I'm okay with it because we're ahead of it. Now, I will tell you one thing that's making me nervous. One, the RSI looks like it's starting to create a channel to the downside, and that's a bullish or a bearish reversal. This will be a bearish reversal. So if when it comes up, it would cause bearishness. Not just that, we've come in very weak into the 20-day now after that first overzealous run up, and the volume's dropping off. So this looks like, and it's starting to flow in a way that we really don't want it to do here. Like, you don't want to start seeing after a dump out like this. This is just like kind of the last dip, you know, or that's your last hope to sell out if that's what's happening. So watch that falling channel support. These are typically bullish reversals or bullish continuation patterns had they have stayed in. Now, one could argue that it was forming maybe a wedge setup, but I don't want to go that far because I think that'd be cheap if we just turn it into a wedge. I want to see something more here, because if you follow it with this logic, you would know 55 cents would be the downward motion, and then possibly all the way down to 51 cents at the bottom of this handle, as we drew in much more pronounced here this evening, so that it looks a lot easier to see than just me drawing it in. I believe that's the handle that is now formed, and it had to happen in July of 23, and a lot of people say this is nonsense or BS, but I'm telling you, in 23, took us about 242 days approximately to finish that cup. Maybe a little more, but it was 240 something to finish this cup. But it needed this event here with the clarity of retail not being a security for XRP with Annalisa Perez's decision back in last July. That allowed for this artificial wick up to create this handle. Now, once this handle breaks out officially, which we had a fake out before, and after doing more analysis, we are still within that handle. So that means we can come down to 51 cents. If we come down to 51 cents and we hold this structure, you're talking about a wave 5 is going to clear this entire, it's going to blow this entire thing out of the water. And I'm talking about the Wyckoff because that's what a lot of people are talking about, the ABC correct. It'd be a wave 3 to wave 4 to the down, and wave 4 to wave 5 would be out. And I'm not drawing it in, but that's how it goes. So, but no, that pump that just happened, or I mean that pump that you can't predict, yeah, that's with the news. But what it did, Yep, that pump you can exactly. But you can include it for the handle start. You can include that for the pump, and now it forms the handle. See, that's the importance of it. So it's not that, not this cup and handle or whatever. Oh, it's not that no. See, manipulation is, I think that's a little too stretched out. Yes, we're manipulated, but not in the way you think. It's trading bots. It's trading bots, friend. That's not just, that's the algorithm of a trading bot. But guys and gals, you have to expect a lot more hate and criticism. It's gonna reflect on each and every one of you and myself, the way you handle the naysayers. Because it might be your power of positivity that makes them be like, you know what, this is the first community I came into where I was being a dick and they actually were giving me facts. And not, they're, in a sense, you know, they're showing me the love and not the hate, the positivity over the negativity. Most of the comments you see with those people, play the victim. You want to play the winner. Don't let them sink you down to that level. You doing what you're doing. They're in here wasting time, remember that. But sometimes wasting time is good medicine, because then you see things you wouldn't be generally exposed to. So sometimes exposure, good exposure, can lead you on the right track. Shouldn't I sell my 20 and buy lower in my head than my smart ass in my brain says it? I mean, it's all about your perspective, friend. I bought in at 34.6 cents and 23 on this bearish cycle after I sold out at $1.66. So to me, I have no, my whole strategy is not to sell in the cents. If it comes down below 34 cents, I'm not dreading it. I'll buy more for the first time since I bought it in 23 and early 23. It's been about a year now. Once I get outside of March, it's outside of a year for sure. I just can't remember the date in March I bought, and I don't care to look back. Because I don't even look at the exchange very often at all, where it's because this is on the ledger, so I would have to go back to Uphold where I initially bought it. So I don't worry about these ebb and flows anymore. That's the swing trader's job, or the leverage trader's job. I do it by a different scheme that I figured out trading penny stocks years ago in the accumulation game. You wait for them to go down long enough, when everybody desires these things, and what happens? Eventually it turns from a good buy into a horrible buy at the top. And then when it ends up crashing down, I accumulate now. And I target it. I do it on my charts, just like you watched me do it in 21 if you were here. And then I said I'm not buying until it gets down there. And everybody who was there at the time, not now, but back then, they would laugh at me and say, this guy's a moron. You know, so... But I put my targets out there, and that's what I did with crypto. And yeah, it seemed absurd when I sold DGB at 15 cents and I told everybody I'd buy it back at around 0.005. Everybody thought I was out of my mind. I bought it back on average at 0.007. You know, I told everybody I would buy XRP at under 40 cents. They thought I was nuts. Bought it at 34 cents. You know, I could go on and on and on around the list. VeChain was up near 25 cents, 30 cents. Bought it at 1.5 cents. Same thing with Zill, up over 20. Bought it at 1.6 cents. HBAR was way up there, bought it at 5.2 cents. Algo was up at 280, bought it at 10 cents. You know, this is the way that I was planning on doing it. So what's happening now, even with the market drops, the one cool thing about this is I gave you guys one opportunity for a swing trade. Does anybody remember it? One. In my recent history, I've only given one swing trade opportunity. Can anybody tell me the name of it? Was anybody in here, 6 days ago, 7 days ago, when I gave this and said I bought 93,000 tokens, about $500 worth? Does anybody remember when I came in and said I believe it's about to run 200 to 300% imminently? And I normally wouldn't have done that. But I told everybody and I said, I bought in, I don't care, and I know it's about to run 200-300%. AMP. No. Yes, the other ones are right, XDC and DGB, but at different times. XDC was for that initial move if they were looking between XRP and XLM because it was the one that hadn't moved. But AMP was the one I came on here and said, I bought it at 0.489 roughly, put $500 into it. Got 9,300 or 93,000 tokens and some chains approximately. And I said it's about to go up 200 to 300% imminently. And I never do that. Never. But it took a long cup that it took over a year to finish. And it looked like it was about to break out. And from my buy-in, it went up 250% almost, 245%. On Uphold, it was higher. Uphold went to 18 cents. Or just over 17. So I was able to turn 500 into 1,700 almost overnight. Well, after the fees and everything, it was about 16. But almost overnight. We were buying in March 11th roughly. And by, oh no, it was 3 days before. Because we bought in literally right on the pump, basically. Might have been the 10th. I think it was the 10th. I think it was the 10th. Because then we broke up on the 11th and 12th. Or 12th and 13th, yeah. And then I said I'm out. And I don't usually sell out right away, but it did my exact move that I was targeting too quickly. And that's a good thing for me because I was able to cash out. But now it becomes the opportunity. That 11-2 line is very important for me because if it were to stay over that or get back on top of it, that's a major pivot point from back in the pattern before. That's why it became a rejection line here. So, but we'll see on AMP. I was just curious if anybody was actually paying attention to that. Kryptonian, yeah, this AM, you could have got it around our target. Remember I said the targeted buy would be about 8.5 cents if I were to get back in. I didn't see it because I wasn't paying attention. But that was the opportunity there at around 8.5, 9 cents. And that's a beautiful buy early this morning because I seen it touch there. Beautiful. If it's going to play. Now, obviously, where you bought in, you got to use that low wick. That low support, if it breaks through there, this pattern is most likely going to continue moving down. But right now, with XRP, and I love all my fans, good or bad. You don't even understand whether somebody is heckling me or if somebody's showing me praise. You realize it's one and the same because at least we're getting them to come here, right? And if they didn't come here, maybe they didn't see the XRP Bitcoin pair, where XRP is significantly undervalued here. We're almost getting to a substantial low here for XRP. You know, if we start breaking this structure to the downside, there's a very real chance we revisit this December of 2020 lawsuit moment where the pairing was all the way at 687. A little bit lower. So I don't think that's what we're trying to do here because we are getting very close for this pair flipping. It has to. This is getting to historically low levels. And like I've seen other people that have tried to put this chart in perspective, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Because it's a much longer drawn out, but this consolidation, expanded consolidation, I just put that downtrending resistance so that we can see the first step what we have to get over. But that pattern, I mean, it's going to be interesting. If we did fall out, it would be interesting. No, it's not looking good right now. The XRP versus Bitcoin, but it's an opportunity for the ones who are buying XRP. The XRP is going to go up compared to Bitcoin. Oh, that's what it all looks like, Kryptonian. Cup and handles everywhere. But remember, the handle is designed to be bearish. It's designed to get everybody who rode the cup up. It's designed to get everybody out on the handle right before the actual significant move. Remember, all the cup is to get you back to even for whatever the bear market drop was or that extensivity of that drop in that cup was. The handles where the real profit gets made and it shakes everybody out. As long as you don't pour the handle out, it's very bullish, and this would break up for Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin builds a bullish handle here again. And we went down to 59,000, or what was it? Not 59. We went down to, one time we went down to 59, but on this recent push, we went down to 65.5. Yeah, it was an overextended wick, but that 66,187 pivot point still played true. Still played true. So, it's going to be interesting going into this daily close. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's going to be interesting. Quant, as we know, looks to be front-running XRP. It already had to move out initially. So, and it already had built a handle that it rotated out of, back-tested it. But now, Quant, as you can see, overnight it came to 119. And all of a sudden, it's way back up at, what, 136. Almost 137. So, it's going to be very, very interesting. Because we all know if Quant breaks up, you've got big targets over it. The first target's right here at 163. I mean, it would just be a quick hop, skip, and a jump to get there. So, but yeah, I've got to do some reading here, though. So I don't got a lot of time to go over a bunch of different tokens. I got all the kids here tonight. It's the weekend. But I still want to do my due diligence here. HBAR is down 5.35%. But again, We've been talking about these rising channels for a while now with a lot of these cryptos. And now if it holds it, and I think we've expanded we could expand this too with HBAR, because technically we do have that channel which is maintained for a very long time. But couldn't one argue now with this resistance hit, we've created some kind of an uptrending floor? And couldn't one argue, and you know, some people say that, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. I don't know what you're seeing. But I think everybody will be able to see this one. Because we've got the evidence now. So if it breaks this down, we're going to know the structure and the exact drop. So I almost dare say we've got something like this. We get rid of this expanded structure now. Just hear me out. We get rid of the expanded structure to make this easier on ourselves. And now we can start to kind of see what's happening here. So more of an ascending formation, right? The ascending triangle, which I know some of you know that this can be a bearish reversal. So I think this will give us a better way to look at this. But we also have the bullish handle right now we're trying to build completely. So on a breakup, we're going to expand this. On a breakup, you're looking at 17.5. Now, on a breakdown, because, you know, everything has a reaction, if not doing exactly what you want it to do by going up. If there's not a reaction, as I always say, there's the opposite reaction. In this case, the opposite reaction would get a perfect retest back down into this range at around that 7 cent mark. So that's what you're looking at. We're looking at a breakdown to about 7 cents or a continuation up to 17.5. But understand that we built a cup and we're trying to put in a bullish handle here. Now, we could obviously continue to mess with this pattern, but this is the outriding, and yeah, you could say, oh, Tom, the wick's right there, so I suppose you're right. But just for this scenario, I was choosing to come through the candle body for just a show. Let me get this out of here. Let me get this out of here. But I was using the candle body to show exactly what was trying to form here. So I think this is what's happening now. So if we're looking at HBAR, Tanya, if you're in here, watch this support down here at like 11 cents. If 11 cents gives way, you got the 10 cents overextended area. I'm going to get rid of this red line so we don't get confused. So but inverted head and shoulder, it very well could be playing towards that. Very well could be playing towards that on a lot of these. But yeah, so that's that. And then XLM. XLM right now is bouncing off of support from we call this the tier 1 to tier 2 breakout, as I believe XLM is still trying to build a massive cup, although it's got a short-term, what one could perceive, the shorter one, and let me get this off. This is just the long term. But one could perceive here already that XLM, because we had this drawn out before, but I switched it overnight just to show, that we did do this. We're coming around to build the handle, right? So we'll see what happens. But right now, just to keep it simple, we've got this pattern breakout that we're trying to retest right now. And if we do hold 13.5, your next major move up is 17.1. If we did lose this and fall through, then we know exactly where it's going, just in case. But this is how it's looking here. XRP, Future Millionaire, Colin says, Tom, Algo is holding very well. Algo is at 29.85 cents. It's minus 4.2%, but yeah, it's holding pretty well. We do know it's building the handle, though, now, because it came up. And we talked about how we could build a bullish handle if we came up high enough, and maybe it would just come down here to like that 28, maybe 25.4 cent mark. We've come down so far to 27.4. It's going to be very dependent on Bitcoin here. It's going to be very dependent on Bitcoin. And like, that's the second tier, but we can see the first tier started right around here at 23 cents, came around, made the handle, and now it pushed up. Now it's just, can we have that little corrective handle? That's it. Because the larger or the smaller cup already formed the handle instead of breaking out of it right here. Formed this, pushed out of it. Now it's the next layer. This is just the next layer up. That's all this is. But that was our technical target at 30 cents when we were buying at 10 cents. Remember, that was our immediate, you can make 200% on this very quickly once it starts to rally, because it had to fill that. It had to fill it. It fell too fast. And that all happened because they were trying to put it on the same level as XRP with the Securities and Exchange Commission, so it caused it to absolutely collapse. Now we're going to get into some reading here because I think it's important. Hopefully that bit of technical analysis, I did not realize it took us 50 friggin' minutes to get through it, but we definitely needed to talk. Make sure you hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this live, and it'll allow us to continue to grow this community. If you have not hit that subscribe button, hit subscribe and join the almost 20,000, I can't even believe I'm saying 20,900 subscribers almost. We're less than 8 away. As just a day and a half ago, we had 20,800. So the incredible show of support continues here. And I thank each and every one of you. Again, if you're trying to trade XRP in the USA or abroad, video description below and/or pinned comments is BITUNIX. Get involved there. If you have the ability on MEXC, it's in the video description below. I'm allowed to copy trade on there, so in the future, there could be a moment where you hear me say, I'm putting in a trade. If you want to copy it and you have access to MEXC, just follow me as a copy trader, and then you can at least see the trade as it opens up, so you can see it from a more minute level. But that's all I'm going to say about that, because that is not a thing I'm doing. You didn't hear it from me. Our XRP whale transactions behind 15% XRP price dump. XRP enjoyed its most bullish day in nearly a year on March 11th, but has fallen since. And if you want to show me support, consider joining Tom's Army to get the month 1 badge of me being abducted by aliens, or consider sending 1 YouTube super chat per month as a way to show your support. The XRP price failed to sustain a breakout above a 1,060-day resistance line, which is that 77-month consolidation. Well, actually, it's a little bit more than that. They went a little bit farther back. Where XRP whale transactions behind today's 15% XRP price decrease. The XRP price is traded devoid of any significant volatility for the past 6 months. So if you want to relax as well, this would be a great time to join me. Approaching the end of a long-term consolidation pattern. This changed on March 11th when the XRP price broke out from a long-term resistance trend line. While XRP moved outside of its long-term pattern, it fell back below it today after a sudden dump. This weakness raises the question, will XRP ever break out from this long-term resistance and begin its upward trend? Will XRP clear a 1,064-day trend line? And yeah, that's the downtrending resistance, so that's absolutely correct. This is what they're talking about, the exact same thing we're looking at every single day. Except this one goes back to just 21. We're actually looking out to 2018. Because you could actually expand this trend line starting in 2018, which it should be. But they're starting in 21. That's actually the second hit of this trend line, to be honest with you. The trend line caused several rejection red icons, the most recent occurring in March 2024. Additionally, XRP had increased alongside an ascending support trend line since June 2022, creating a symmetrical triangle pattern. The XRP price seemingly broke out this week, reaching a high of 74 cents in the process. However, it failed to sustain the increase and fell back below the trend line again. The RSI and MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and relative strength index give an unclear reading. Both the RSI and MACD are following their own descending resistance trend lines, which align with the long-term trend line from the price action. Breakouts from these trend lines are required to confirm the bullish trend and start an upward movement. Similarly, the MACD is positive and is breaking out from its own trend line. These are signs that the long-term breakout is legitimate and the increase will continue. While the weekly time frame gives mixed readings, the daily time frame chart is bearish because of the price action RSI and MACD. While the XRP price broke out from a descending resistance trend line, it was rejected at 618, the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement resistance level of 74 cents. The rejection coincided with the bearish divergence in the RSI green line and a bearish cross in the MACD red icon. It is possible that the decrease was helped by two significant XRP whale transactions. The whales transferred more than 50 million XRP tokens from cold storage wallets to centralized exchanges. Such transfers often precede price decreases, as was the case with XRP. Since such transactions represent a transfer from a liquid to a liquid supply, the movement is in line with the bearish readings from the daily time frame. So as XRP struggles to confirm trend, while XRP enjoyed the most bullish day in nearly a year on March 11th, it has fallen sharply since, invalidating a potential breakout from a long-term resistance line. It is possible that two large whale transactions catalyzed this decrease. XRP now attempts to find support and potentially make another breakout attempt. And then the other thing I want everybody to realize this as well. Like button activated. Little slow I am. That's okay. We're at 177 likes. We're doing a fantastic job as we come down towards the end of this live, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank everybody for being here. I really do. And please pay attention to what I've been saying. The XRP volume skyrockets 85% ahead of critical price threshold. So, XRP at what could be a defining moment for its price. XRP, the sixth largest cryptocurrency by market cap, has witnessed an astounding 85% surge in trading volume as its price approaches a critical juncture. This decisive level, closely watched by investors and traders alike, could signal a significant shift in the market's direction for XRP. When writing, the XRP price was down nearly 11% to 61.2 cents, extending its decline since reaching a yearly high of 74.49 cents on Monday. As we know, it's recovered some. It's around the 63 cent level, but this could be either a very bearish rejection here, or we could start a very big continuation, so we have to see. We'll get back in the charts in just a minute. Let's see. So XRP price loss mirrors a broader drop in the cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin falling from its most recent record high of 73,794 to lows around 65,569. XRP's 24-hour trading volume exceeds 4.33 billion as it rose 85%. So that's definitely something to be noted. Similarly, XRP is gaining popularity in Korean markets, ranking as the fourth most traded asset on Upbit, South Korea's largest crypto exchange, up from 8th place. The increase in trading volume could indicate increased interest and activity around XRP, implying that investors closely monitor price movements and even position themselves for what's to come next. And then XRP is at a decisive juncture. Attention is focused on XRP as it stands at the precipice of what could be a defining moment for its price. XRP plummeted to a low of 59.58 cents in today's trading session hours. Eyes are now on 58.4 cent level, which served, and we already know it springboarded back up to 63 right now. So a daily candlestick closed below 58.4 may indicate a further decline in XRP, the February low of 52 cents, but that's not going to happen today. So on the other hand, if XRP breaks through 74 cents resistance, it may begin an ascent towards 85 cents and eventually $1.02. But everybody's going to pay attention to that. So that's something I wanted to read. But XRP is definitely making a push here at the end of the close. At least it looks like we're going to be above that resistance line as of right now. Looks like and that's what I was saying to start. This right now is just a wick down. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we play. But I've got to get going, folks. I got to go take care of the kids. I got one coming home, actually, that I got to go get with Julie, the 10-year-old. She's about to come back from her friend's house. So I'm going to go make sure everything goes good. So I do appreciate everybody. I do. We're looking to see her just to make sure if the daily close happens above here. And it looks like we're going to clear this. It really looks like we're going to clear this today. We got to stay above 627. I've been saying 633 to be on the safe side, but as it comes through, that was earlier today. Now that we've come down here, it's right around 628 we're looking at right now. So this is what I'm looking, though, everybody. If you made it until the end, type in hashtag be better, do better in the comments. But I am so glad that I was able to stay for an hour. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, but I got a signal from Julie like a minute ago that, hey, it's time to wrap it up. So, but if we do continue moving up and the support holds, Watch the support at 62.76. If this gets rejected, we have a technical move to 55 cents. Otherwise, you're going to have a pushback up to the top of this channel. If you want to even call it that, some have dropped it down into a wedge, but I'm not willing to do that because I want to see how this plays out on both sides. But ultimately, we've got to try to play back up here and then get over not just 68 cents. We've got to be over 70 cents and ultimately over that 75 cent, you know, 70, or well, it's a downtrending resistance that started in January of 2018, as we know. And we've been in a 77-month consolidation since the uptrend hit. And ultimately, we've got to get back up over this first. That's that first big level, is that rising channel resistance. But what I'm seeing here, unfortunately, and again, don't shoot the messenger, but don't be surprised, and I can feel a sly move coming here by these. I don't believe they have the best interest at heart when they do this. But see how this is happening? I would not be surprised at the close if it just Hey, you know that has to come back to where it started at least. So back to the base. But couldn't that base just drop it down further now? So it's been showing us the same Eventually it comes back down to the bottom. So just understand this. Even if this breaks bullish, I find it very hard to believe that this wouldn't at least try to double bottom or somehow try to put in the inversion. Maybe it could. But that looks like a very suspect rise up there. Very suspect rise up here. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But that looks very suspect here leading into the close. Just watch 63 cents or 62.8 cents. As we know, if that breaks 55 cents, if we can continue pushing up off of that low support here from the falling channel, as we could call it, it should be a bullish consolidation if it can hold. But in current conditions, if Bitcoin falls, XRP will follow most likely. And then you come down to 51 cents at the bottom of that cup, but the bottom of the handle that's forming to maintain bullishness as long as you don't lose it. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Please pay attention to the ebb and flows of the market. Don't get caught up in leverage trading in these extreme times of volatility unless you really know what you're doing. But remember, spot is king. Have a blessed week.